Before you can use Twitter, you must set up a Twitter account. As you'll see in this video, not only is it free, but it's very quick and easy to do. So right now I'm on the Twitter homepage, and what I want to do here is create a brand new Twitter account. So you see this big yellow sign up button. I'm going to click that. When you click the sign up button, Twitter displays a form like this one where you can enter the information that you want to include in your account. The first thing you should do is put in your full name, and you should put in your real full name. So this is an account for our fictional person. Her name is Stacey Oliveri, and we're going to type in her name. And we're going to go down for a username, and we're going to type in the name that Stacey wants to use in Twitter, and she's just going to use her name. Now what Twitter does is it automatically checks for availability. If this name were not available, then it wouldn't show up okay right here. It would tell you that it wasn't available, and it would force you to go and put in another name until you came up with one that was available. So right now Stacey's in good shape. Her name is available, and this URL here is Stacey's URL for her profile page. So when she wants to give somebody her page on Twitter, she would give them this URL. Now she's got to put in a password, and they want you to be tricky. When they say tricky, they mean to try to combine letters and numbers and capitals and all kinds of different characters. So I'm just going to type in a very simple one here, one that I can remember, and it's going to be test123. And that's good enough for Twitter. And then down here I need to put in Stacey's email address. So I'm going to type in her email, which is on Gmail. And if I keep this checkbox turned on here, that tells Twitter that other people can look for Stacey by her email address. So if someone else is searching through Twitter for Stacey and doesn't know her name but knows her email address, with this checkbox turned on, that means it'll be able to find her. So you'll probably want to keep this turned on if you want people to be able to find you on Twitter with your email address. Keep in mind that this email address is never publicly displayed, so it's not like you're giving it away to other people online. Let's scroll down here a little bit. And there's a terms of service here, and you can scroll through this to read it. It's quite lengthy, as most terms of services are. And when you're ready to create your account, you would click the Create My Account button. And there's one more option underneath here you might want to consider. If you keep the I Want the Inside Scoop checkbox turned on, you'll get email messages from Twitter, and they'll give you information about new features coming out and other things of interest to Twitter users. There aren't very many email messages, so it's the kind of thing that you may or may not want. I don't find it very annoying, so I usually keep it turned on. And then you just click Create My Account. Now the next thing that they do is they want to make sure that this isn't some kind of automated program that's created this account. So they're displaying these characters that are very difficult to read sometimes, and you need to type those characters in the way you see them. And let's see if I can do this. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. It looks like it says party, and I click finish, and I got through there. So the next thing it does is it offers you some suggestions of people you follow. And the way that this works is there's a list of different categories here on the left-hand side, and you would click a category to find different people you might find interesting. For example, if I like funny people, I can click funny, and it will come up with a list of people, mostly famous people, who may or may not be funny. And I can scroll through this list, and I can see all these different people, and maybe, for example, Seth Meyers from Saturday Night Live, I might want to follow him, and maybe Jimmy Fallon, and different comedians that are in here. I like to read a lot, so I might want to try books, and I can find different authors that might interest me. Here's the Penguin Group, which is a publishing company. I can click follow. So that's how I can go through this, and I can find different people to follow. They're mostly going to be famous people. And the one thing I do want to point out here is anytime you see this little verified sign here, that means that this really is that person. It's not somebody pretending to be that person. What you'll find on Twitter is sometimes people will pretend to be someone else. Anytime you see this verified sign, that means it's definitely this person. Keep in mind that doesn't mean that this isn't Sarah Weinman. It just means that this is not a verified account. Next, you can go and you can look for friends of yours that you might want to connect with on Twitter. So I'm going to click Friends. And what I can do here is I have a Gmail account, but I could also have Yahoo or AOL. And I can use my Gmail contacts list to go in and see if anybody in my contacts list is on Twitter. So it already knows my email account because I typed it in earlier. I need to type in my password, and it will go into Gmail, get my contacts list, and then bring it into Twitter and compare them. So I'm going to do that. And again, this is optional. You don't have to do that. If you wanted to skip this, you would just click Next Step down here. But I'll give that a try so you get to see what it looks like. I'm going to type in my password now. Click Find Friends. And it goes into Gmail and it loads in your contacts. And what I'm finding here is there's a bunch of people that I have in my address book and they're on Twitter. So from this screen, I can follow these people. And all I need to do is just click the little follow button next to it. So maybe I want to follow Mike and Jen and Marcus. Of course, I'm in there too. And we'll also follow Jennifer right now. Now you'll see here that there's people that I've got listed here, but they are not on Twitter yet. If I wanted to, I can invite them to join Twitter by clicking the Send Request button. So when you click the Send Request button, what it does is it sends an email message to that person inviting them to join Twitter, telling them that you're online there. When you're finished with that, click Next Step Others, and you can invite some other friends that aren't on Twitter to join you in Twitter. And the way you would do that, these are people that are not on Twitter, but they're in your address book. That's how it's got their email addresses here. And what you want to do is you want to turn on the checkboxes beside the people that you want to invite, and then you can invite those contacts by clicking this button. And finally, at the very end of the process, it allows you to search through Twitter for anybody that you might know on there. And I'm going to be covering the search feature of Twitter in another video, so rather than repeat it and do it twice, I'll just cover that there. So at this point, we're done. So I'm going to click the Next Step, You're Done button. And what it's doing is it's displaying my home page. Right now, it's telling me about the location tagging feature. I'm not going to do that right now, so I'll just click Not Now. And it's showing me the accounts that I follow on Twitter. This is my personal timeline on my home page. And I'll take a closer look at the home page in another video.